Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so 2019 Rolex models, they've been announced, and that's what this video is about, coming at you from my hallway. I've never made a video here before, so why not? All right, so wristwatch check first, Vostok. All right, so let's get right into it. Yacht-Master 42 millimeter black dial, black Serichrome bezel. The bezel has raised and polished numerals. That's kind of different. That's new. So that's sort of, I don't want to call it groundbreaking, but it's significant. Let's see, it's got a 32-35 movement, and that has the Parachrome, the blue Parachrome spring, the Paraflex shock absorber, 70-hour power reserve, I think. So pretty much newest up-to-date movement. So comes on a Oyster Flex bracelet or strap, which I always think is a letdown to pay that kind of money and get a piece of plastic. There should be a metal bracelet option. I love my metal bracelets. So, I mean, it's not like I would go for that watch anyway, but that's shortcoming, I think. Let me know what you think. I just think for whatever price is going to be, you should get a little bit more of that Rolex metal, that Rolex steel. All right, 30, we'll get to the good stuff in a minute, and it's all good stuff, but speaking of the 32-35 movement, they're putting that in two new 36 millimeter Datejust. I'm kind of glad they're keeping around the 36 millimeter Datejust, because I think that's the classic size, and I think that's the ideal size. So I'm happy to see that the 36 millimeter watches live on, and two Datejusts, a black dial Jubilee fluted bezel, and I want to say smooth bezel Oyster bracelet, silver dial. I think the black dial Jubilee is the way to go. Very classic, and it's great that it's got that, you know, new up-to-date movement. So, you know, I have a thing for just all steel Datejusts, and that is a really cool watch. I'm more of a sports watch guy, but that's a really kind of neat watch, and I don't think a lot of people will really go crazy and get turned on by it, but I definitely think it's pretty cool. There's also a 36 millimeter solid gold, yellow gold, I want to say, date green, sort of a, what do they call that? Sort of a burst dial with diamonds for the indices. Not my kind of watch at all, but I'm sure some people will like it. Green dial, yeah, I mean, it's the Rolex color, right? But yeah, if I had that kind of money, unless I just run out of Rolexes to buy, I think I would bypass that for something I think a little bit more tasteful. All right, so let's get to the big one. All right, the GMT Master 2, BLNR, the Batman. It's the movement is caught up. It's got the 32-85 movement, which is what the current Pepsi has, the Pepsi ceramic that everybody's going crazy over. The BLNR now comes on a Jubilee, so they must be retiring that polished middle link Oyster bracelet, which is a scratch magnet, and good riddance as far as I'm concerned. What else? Well, basically it's just like the BLNR version of the Pepsi. So it's going to be interesting to see how people react. Is the Pepsi still the sort of the favorite, or are people going to gravitate towards the Batman? What's going to happen to the prices on old Batman models? I think I wouldn't buy one. I wouldn't want one now. I really didn't want one before, but I like the new one more. And if I had just stumbled across a BLNR recently and picked it up, I think I'd kind of be regretting it. I mean, you can still get out of it. Hey, I don't think any regret should be spoken of when you're talking about a BLNR, but any kind. But I would be considering flipping it. Will the first BLNR turn into a classic? I don't know. I mean, all Rolexes are classic in a way. All steel sports Rolexes are classic. I don't think they're going to tank or anything like that. But I just think the new BLNR is more favorable. And so that's where I'd be wanting to put my money, and that's what I'd want on my wrist, all things being equal. So it's going to be interesting to see what that does to the pre-Jubilee BLNR. And what's going to happen with the Pepsi? I mean, is the Pepsi going to take a back seat? I kind of think the BLNR is a better looking watch. So the Pepsi, I mean, it was the one to have, but I think the BLNR is the one to have now. With the, I mean, it's equal. They're totally the same watch. You're just talking a color difference. I kind of prefer the color scheme on the BLNR. Let me know what you guys think, but that'll be interesting to see. Not like we're going to see these watches anyway. All right, well, let's revisit the Yacht-Master 42 millimeter. I'm not happy that they decided to do that. I wasn't crazy about the Explorer 2 being made into a 42 millimeter watch. I think it made it ugly. It's fine by me because I've got what I think is the pretty version, and so the fact that they made it ugly, I think, just sort of makes the 40 millimeter more collectible and more interesting, and that's the way I would go. But I thought maybe they learned their lesson about 42 millimeters. It doesn't look bad, but 40 millimeters is just the sweet spot for me, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right, well, I think I'm probably missing a few. I think there was a ladies version. There's a two-tone Sea Dweller. Kind of cool. I mean, the Sea Dweller is a tool watch. I mean, that's a tool watch. So to bring out a two-tone, I just think it's silly. I'm just not into gold or two-tone sports watches because they're not as strong as the steel. So aesthetically, I'm not into it, but functionality, it comes at a cost. And certainly if you're not into that aesthetic, not one that you'd be willing to pay. Plus, they're more expensive. So still a beautiful watch, but yeah, two tones just don't do it for me. But that exists now. If you want a Sea Dweller in gold and steel. Now, before I end the video, let me just say that I wonder if people are going to be sort of upset and surprised that they didn't come out with a new sub. I think people thought they were going to update the movement, but no. The sub continues on in its current iteration, so perhaps next time. I think the pick of the litter by far is the BLNR. I think it's going to give the Pepsi a run for its money, and that's kind of my new favorite current Rolex. If I could choose to stumble upon any contemporary Rolex when I happen to have a pocket full of cash, it would definitely be the BLNR. I think that's an amazing looking watch. I won't get into the fact that I kind of like the pre-ceramics more, but yeah. So I'm kind of entertained, and I mean, I'm not happy about this, but I'm not disappointed either. people predicted the BLNR, and sure enough, yeah, I mean those predictions are right. So remember, we heard those sort of leaks and rumors, and sure enough, what's to become of the old BLNR? That's the question. Anyway, take care. Let me know what you guys think about this new lineup. We're never going to see him anyway in the flesh, probably, but perhaps maybe someday. But still, kind of cool to see, you know, the yearly offerings that Rolex throws to us. All right, take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.